The Japanese occupation started in 1941.
There was 18 days of fighting between the Canadian and British against the Japanese. Wait, let me think what to say now.
The Japanese finally defeated the British in late December 1941 to finally take over control of Hong Kong.
Japan took boats to Hong Kong.
In 1941, there were 1.6 million people living in Hong Kong. By 1945, there were only 600,000.
This is the story of Yuki and Yuri.
Mommy, I feel really sick. Why can't you take food from other people?
Because that's called stealing. I'd go to jail. Foods like rice and sugar, like cooking oil and salt, they're all rationed.
But I feel ill.
We only have 243 grams of rice today. That's not a lot. Think about it. There are people poorer than you who have to live on peanut bran, tree roots, and cassava powder.
Mommy, I really don't feel good.
I've been trying to
I want
fight
food.
for food. I've been trying to fight for it, but it's really hard. Feeling okay? My baby, we come!
Come on the bus. My baby is injured. I think she's about to die.
$2 for the bus.
I don't have the money. The banks are all closed down.
You pay later.
No, the Japanese
You pay.
occupy all the banks. I can't. Thank you, kind lady.
Yuri and Yuki were on the bus, but then it broke down as there was a shortage of electricity. So Yuki carried Yuri to the hospital on her back. Can you please help me? I think my baby's dying.
What seems to be the problem?
I think it's a lack of food. It's been a long time now since there's been a shortage of food. Can you help us, please?
We don't have enough money to pay for treatment for your baby.
Why? But you're giving out medicine, food, and clothes, and burial services. Why
Does she
can't
work in
you
the
help me?
military?
No.
Then no.
Why? We've already given hospitals to the military. Can't you help someone that's dying?
All our funds are going to the military to help those in aid of the war who are helping our country.
But we are helping. You're still working. Can't you help? Do you not have any money at all?
I don't have enough money myself to aid your family when my family is in aid as well.
But look, there are Japanese soldiers wounded over there and you're helping them. Why can't you help my baby?
I told you before, you're not in the military.
Oh, can you...
Whoa.
The Kempeitai was a military police during the Japanese occupation of Hong Kong. They would beat anyone up who disobeyed the Hong Kong law very brutally and savagely. Anyone who was an anti-Japanese figure, houses would be broken into. During the occupation, many newspapers were censored. Local Chinese newspapers were reduced by half, and the South China Morning Post was filled with Japanese propaganda. Radios were also filled with Japanese propaganda so that they could voice their opinion. Local Chinese had no say.
Both the people of Hong Kong and Singapore during the Japanese rule lived in fear of the Japanese. It was an extremely hard life, and for both, one mistake could cost you life. It was the darkest days for the people of both countries. Both countries were previously ruled by the British, who had to fight to keep the territory, although in both cases they were unsuccessful. The Japanese insisted that children learnt Japanese. They believed their culture and language the only one really to be important. The radio and newspapers were all controlled by the Japanese. Locals had little say, and anyone who was considered anti-Japanese would be punished severely. In Singapore's case, they would be sent to work on the death railway. There was a shortage of food during both occupations, and the Japanese had everything they needed and wanted. Both countries formed anti-Japanese groups. In Hong Kong, it was the East River Column, and in Singapore, it was the Malayan People's Anti-Japanese and Army Force 136. When America dropped 2 atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki on the 6th and 9th of August 1945, respectively, the Japanese had to surrender. On the 15th of August, the surrender was started, although China and Britain debated over who should gain control over Hong Kong. China allowed Britain to hold Hong Kong so they could send their troops noted to gain strategic positions against the communists. Chiang Shek offered this and agreed to a British reoccupation. The Japanese formally surrendered on the 16th of September.